Hey everyone, this is Dana Silvestri, and today I'm excited to interview one of my most recent successful clients, Cheryl. Cheryl went from being overcome with procrastination, overcome with fear for sharing her story online and being frustrated about her niche to getting clear about her niche, setting up a Facebook group, telling her story, and being clear on our online marketing overall. So Cheryl is here today to talk more about how we did all this. So thanks for coming on, Cheryl.
You're welcome. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you as well. Looking nice.
Thank you. You too.
So Cheryl, let's dive into things. I'm going to ask some questions. So tell us about a little bit about yourself. You know, what do you really do? We'll start off with that.
Well, I spent 20 years in health and wellness, working in the spas, and recently I went self-employed, and I also teach fitness. And when the pandemic struck, I lost one of my businesses, one of my spa businesses, and I felt this calling to do coaching. It's not something I thought about in the past, but it just suddenly came in that time, in that space. And so from there, I started learning all about the coaching world. And here I am today with you,
Right.
learning more and more.
Right. That's awesome. And trying new things, taking some risks and for businesses and whatnot. So what was the big problem that you were kind of dealing with before we started to work together?
The most hardest thing for me, I think, was nailing down my micro niche, because I'm a person that wants to help the world. I want to help everyone. Obviously, we can't help everyone. Everyone's got their purpose.
Right.
So I know I have a calling on my life to do this. And I knew that I needed to narrow down who I'm going to reach. So being a Christian, I actually wrote out my statement, and it's to equip kingdom women entrepreneurs to grow through tough decisions with tools that bring clarity and confidence. And I'm also certified as a breakthrough coach. And I help women to grow and thrive through challenging transitions with tools and strategies that make success inevitable, so that they can take life to the next level. And the word next level keeps coming up a lot for me, because I felt like that when I started working with you. I felt you always took me up to the next level. You gave me a lot of encouragement. And so that's what I want to do for my clients.
Yeah, and that's so awesome. And there's like so many people want to help everyone, right? And that's the big thing in marketing is, you target everyone, you help everyone, you get no one. So it's really getting really niche down about that. So, we talked about this. We'll go into this further in a little bit about how to get more clear about that, what that entitles and whatnot. And we had a good time with that. So why did you choose to work with me specifically out of everything else? Like, why did we end up on a call, and what do you think happened to that?
Yeah, sorry. Obviously there's a lot of stuff on the internet, and being the way Facebook works, it kind of puts you in with similar things. And I don't know, I caught a glimpse of you live. I'm not sure, but I think we may have got connected through a coaching group somewhere along the line. Maybe, I'm not quite sure, but anyway, I've been following you for a while. I'm not a stalker. But I was inspired by your live videos, and I got a liking to them, and I decided to follow you. And I've been watching loads of your stuff, and I love the way you come across. I love your story, how you went from, having the speech impediment to being this courageous man that just put everything aside and you went all in. And I thought, wow, that's amazing. I want to do that one day, And I just love your positivity. I love your fearless action steps. And I love how you just totally unique yourself. You're totally yourself. You're so open and so vulnerable in a way. And it kind of reminds me a little bit of me in some ways. I just haven't quite had the time. It's not been quite the right time for me to ditch everything yet, but it's happening slowly. because I was in a place where I was spinning so many plates. You know, I was hosting students. I had a part-time job in a beauty salon because I'd lost my business. I teach fitness, which started again. And I also I run an Airbnb in the summer. So I had a lot of things going on. So it wasn't much time to focus actually on coaching and marketing. And I felt a bit lost, and I kept making excuses to go live, and I didn't know quite how to address it. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know if people were going to laugh at me. So there was a bit of fear. When I used to see you doing your lives, I thought, I need to do some of that like that, you know. And then we started sort of chatting here and there, and a comment on your posts, and then you offered me a session with you, and I was like, yes.
So that's awesome. It kind of just happened naturally, I would say. Like we were
Yeah,
chatting and you followed me, you saw some of my stuff. Definitely we were aligned in that sense. And I believe everything happens by order.
yeah.
That's
And
my belief.
also,
So yeah.
yeah, I was going to say also, because you remember at New Year, there was the Bob Proctor sprint into the new year.
Right.
And because of you, I knew about Bob Proctor because I asked you who was your teacher. Do you remember?
Right.
And I wondered who you was inspired by, and that's what got the ball rolling. And then I went on to Bob Proctor's sprint into the new year, and I got so touched by all of that. I learned loads, and I thought you must be learning good stuff, so I carried on following you.
Right. So one of my mentors, for the people that are watching in or listening, was well, still is, even though he passed away a couple months ago. Bob Proctor is an expert on human growth, been in business 60 plus years. He's like the grandfather of personal development. So I learned a lot through him and his company and whatnot. So I think we had a connection there as well. So Cheryl, let's segue into this. So what did you really love about, being connected with me in our coaching calls and working with me, and why did it work well for you? Why did you actually? Because most people that are probably listening, and I'm guilty of it sometimes, they go on calls, they go to seminars, they get more information, but they don't do anything. It sounds like you're actually doing something.
No, because you asked me certain questions in a way that it made me go and take action. It made me think. You didn't tell me what to do, but you asked me certain questions, and it made me go, oh my God, I really need to do this. Just like narrowing down the niche, you gave me little steps of what to do and how to do it, about the avatar and stuff like that. Also, the statement I mentioned earlier, I finally got it. It's been like a whole year trying to get just that small thing done, and I've done it now, thanks to you. You gave me that push.
What was that? What was that statement? That statement that you told me before we end up going live. What was it I said about time and money? You said, what was that?
Sorry, I'm not with you on that one.
You said before we hopped on this call live right now, you said there was something I said that really made you think. Do you remember the statement or no?
No, sorry, I forgot.
I'm putting you on the spot now. It was about something about valuing your time or valuing the money at this, like something like that.
Oh yeah, that's right. I was in a predicament because I really needed to earn money to pay my bills, but I was desperate to have some space in my life, some time, so I can focus on doing the things you'd asked me to do and focus on my marketing and coaching and everything. And you said to me, what would you rather have, 400 euros a month or the time back for yourself to focus on what you need to do for your coaching business? And when you said that, I thought, oh my gosh, what's 400 euros? I could make that doing some massages in a week. So I realized I had to let go, and I handed in my notice because it was really giving me a lot of stress. It was very far away. It was taking all my time. As much as I'm grateful to them for giving me the job, and I was sad to let it go, but I knew I had to do that. I believe God was telling me to do that.
Right.
Because he has other things for me to do.
And Cheryl, what has your results been since implementing what we talked about? So we talked about a lot of the strategy stuff, but then also it was mindset stuff too. It was a combination of overcoming those fears and stuff. And I know you've gone through recently. Obviously, we're talking about business and in regards to the marketing and the niche and everything. But personally, you've gone through a lot of changes as well that require that mindset kind of shift as well. So, what have your results been with that, and how's your life personally changed since getting these results?
I just feel more focused now. I've got my proper niche, I've got my statement, and also I did my first big long story. I made myself vulnerable and I shared my story because you mentioned about doing stories, and I got some response from that. It was a really long post, and even if a couple of people saw that, it's okay. It doesn't matter. At least I'm starting to share who I am, and people need to know what I do and what God's called me to do. Otherwise, no one's gonna want to work with me. So that was a really big seed for me, what you showed me how to do a story on Facebook. And I know that I can repurpose that story and use it for my email. I do email autoresponder with Aweber. So I'm thinking about doing even a video, in the same, from the same post, doing a short video, telling my story. So it's sparked off some new ideas. What else was I going to say?
You have a Facebook group now, or?
Yeah. And that was the other thing. Because of the way you asked me certain questions, it also made me think I really need to sort my Facebook group out, because I looked at yours actually and how you structured your banner and how you structured your questions. And I kind of use it as a role model, but obviously my way on all the stuff I do. And then I actually jumped on a Facebook group challenge, and that really kick-started my Facebook group. I learned how to do a banner in Canva, and I learned what questions to ask. And I have loads of stuff from that group. It was really beneficial to me, and it was right in sync with our cause. So yeah,
Right.
that.
That's impressive. So you were facing procrastination, fear. You weren't taking action, which goes hand in hand. You wouldn't share your story.
Yeah.
You weren't clear about your niche, and when you're not clear about your niche and your statements, you're not clear about your marketing, and the people reading your stories are probably confused as well. So I think that's amazing that you're showing up. That's the big thing. You're showing up, you're taking action, you're learning, you're applying things, you're working on the mindset stuff, you're getting clear on the marketing, and the rest will be history with that. So like, where do you think you would have been today if we never started to work together, if we never had that first conversation?
I'll be still pulling my hair out, wondering what I'm going to do. I mean, I did have notes from before my course, but I just didn't have the time to actually sit down and do it. And I think when you actually have a coach like you or a mentor face to face talking properly, like they're holding your hand, things come up and you get on with it. Whereas if you have a pile of notes in a drawer, it might never get seen,
Right.
So it's really good to have. I value so much face-to-face conversation, especially real face. Obviously we can't.
Right.
So
Maybe one day.
yeah, come to Malta. But
And again, I was bothering you in the messages too, right? I was keeping right on right on you what you were doing, right?
yeah, I was really caught up in an unexpected upheaval of my mum telling me, right, we're going to renovate your apartment, you've got to get out. And I'm like, what? So I had to pack everything up. There's hundreds of builders coming and going in my place. I had to stay at my mum's temporarily and then move back in once it was done. So I had all that in between all the stuff you gave me to do.
Yeah.
But I got there in the end.
Welcome to living life on the edge.
Yeah, it's so nice to be back. And I'm in my new office and ready to go, ready for a new season. I thank you so
Awesome.
much for everything.
Yeah, and last question here, Cheryl. So imagine there's someone watching this right now, and they're on the fence of just booking a call to speak to me about my services. what would you say to them just to speak to me?
Yeah, I'll say definitely 100%. Dan, I was gonna say Dan's your man. Dana, Dana is your man. Dana is very good with business mentoring, and you're really down to earth. You're very good at just clicking in with the person. Just, you've got a way about you that you're soft, you're kind, but you're also quite serious. You hold us accountable. You wouldn't let me go. You was adamant that I was going to do the work and have a result, and I did. I got results, and I'm really, really grateful for that. You have actually got me on a roll to kickstart my business, because now I've got my niche. I can now go ahead and get my website done. Now I've got my statement, my mission statement.
Right.
I can stick that on the website and on my Facebook group, and it's just helped me so much. It really has.
Amazing. And that's momentum. Momentum.
Yeah.
Keep that momentum going. You're just getting started.
That's it.
That's the key.
I love
You're
that
just
word,
getting started.
momentum.
Yeah.
And I definitely recommend you to anyone wanting to move forward, who's stuck.
Right.
Procrastination, fear, So yeah, you were good at that. Changing the mindset.
Appreciate that. All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in, and thank you, obviously, Cheryl, for letting me interview you. And if you're watching this right now and you're interested about learning more, about working together, you have questions about anything, then I want to let you know that you can book a call now. All you got to do is just click the link below. I'll post it below this video. We can chat this week, next week, but as soon as possible for yourself. So on this call, we're going to figure out a couple of things. What's your goal? What's holding you back? Getting clear on how to fix that. So definitely book your call now before the calendar fills up. Thanks again, Cheryl. And I know this isn't the end of anything. It's just the beginning.
Yeah, thank you so much. Look forward to seeing you next time.
Very awesome. I'll talk to you. Bye.
Bye.